First off, let me introduce myself. My name is Bryant Hawkins. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I've been in this industry for 31 years, and I work for Trimedics Children's Hospital in New Orleans. See how they work the clicker here. Elevating performance is something that I think personally we all should have some type of pride about it. And the first one talks about elevating performance is about personal pride. See, when we talk about elevating your performance, it's not just about what you do, but it's just how you do it. Because a lot of times you can do something, and if you don't have that pride about it or that will about it, then you're just doing it. So to elevate something means you have to take that to the next level. And then imagine your workspace as your arena. Now, any of you that work in the hospital, we have EOC meetings. You may have to go to a clinic or simply the biomed shop. That is your arena. That's what you should own. And when I say own it, meaning when you get in the EOC meeting, if any of you ever been in one, you have to present yourself because they're going to have questions for you. And if you kind of shaky with the questions or the answers for the questions, then you're not really excelling in your arena. Biomed shop, clinics, whatever arena you're in, and that can also apply to your life. I mean, when you're in a position to be you with pride, elevate yourself at all times, and it will be of a benefit. Own it, make it your mark. Pretty much what I was just saying before. Because when you do anything you're doing, just keep in mind someone is always watching. Someone is always looking to see what you're doing. And it could be for good or bad, honestly. So you can be making an impression on someone for good or for bad. So if you always have it in your mind, I want to elevate what I'm doing. I want to put my best foot forward. It would always be reflected in your actions. Building a legacy. Work ethic is not just a paycheck or title. Because a lot of times people may say, okay, I have a job, they pay me good money. But why you can't call me a senior site manager? You can pay them the money, but sometimes that title may mean more and may have more value than the money. On the flip side of it, I just shared this with my son. He's not here, so he'll never know I said this. He just got a new contract with a new hospital, and he always wanted to be a BMA too. And they said, well, we can't make you a two, but they gave him the money he wanted. And I told him, I said, well, man, just be patient. I mean, you asked for a $2 hour raise. Gave it to him. He's making what a BMA two should be making, but he was upset because they didn't promote him to a BMA two. Well, I just told him, look at it this way: when they promote you, you're gonna get another raise. So along with that raise. So sometimes a title has a play in it, but your work ethic will continue to do everything for you. So it's not always about the money. It's not always about the title. In some cases, it's flip flop. Ask yourself, what am I fighting for? And whatever that answer is, let that drive you every single day. Because we all have to have a why, right? Any of y'all in here have a why? What you do every day? Let me see about show of hands. We gotta get some whys, y'all. I mean, everybody need a why, honestly. I mean, if you don't have a why you get up in the morning, that's why that alarm clock have to get you up. I'm a sick puppy. I get up at 3 o'clock every morning, and nobody y'all do. That wasn't always. I don't know. At this age, I guess my brain just don't sleep. And you don't have to get up at 3. That's just me. But have a why for what you do, guys. If you have a why, then it will lead you to wherever you want to go in this world, not just this industry. So you should always have a why or ask yourself, what am I fighting for? Make it personal, it matters more. See, when you make it personal, that's when it matters the most to me. And when it matters the most to you, you'll find a way to rise above. You'll find a way to be successful. Because some people just go about their day-to-day life at work, just, well, I'm on the clock, I do a few PMs and go home. You got to find a way to make it matter. I'm working with these kids. I work at a children's hospital, so everything matters to us. Everything we do matters. But a lot of people get burnt out and stop caring and just say, I'm just putting in 8 hours. You have to. I'm playing with you guys. I see a lot of young faces in here. It matters more when you put that extra effort into it. Excellence through choices. Now, this one here is something that I think everything we do is a choice, right? You could choose to do something, and if you don't do it, you still made a choice. So, excellence requires actions, decisions, and suffering. Now, I'm going to say this one thing. The path to excellence is not always paved with good intentions. But if you put the right actions, the right decisions, and like I said, suffering, you might wonder, well, how am I suffer on this path? There's a lot of things we may suffer with, honestly. It could be suffering with something simple as not being able to party with your friends. Somebody may say, that's not suffering. That is for an 18, 19-year-old, because you want to have fun while you in school, your buddies and them, they doing fun stuff, but you're too busy focusing on your career. So that might be where the suffering may be. We all have our own level of suffering. I can't tell you what it is. My suffering is not always your suffering, and vice versa. So when your friends come to you telling you what they're suffering of, don't just say, "Oh, girl, that's nothing." Guy, I didn't mean to just say girl. Oh, don't say, just say that. Hopefully you can get through it, because you might minimize it because you feel that what you're going through is so much worse. But it could be something simple they're going through that can be considered suffering to them. Make hard choices, wake up early, review goals, work relentlessly. Now, how many of you guys write your goals down? You review them? You should. Because if you don't know what your goals are, how are you supposed to reach them? I want to be a successful HTM professional. It's a little more work than that. If you're saying what you want to be, it's not going to get there. You got to have goals. And when I say goals, they don't have to be, you can make small goals first, means, and then add up to an end goal. And once you reach that end goal, you made it, right? So you set more end goals. And you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. 31 years later, I've been in this industry, and I've been doing more in the last 3 years. I did the whole 27. And that wasn't just by me deciding to wake up, it's just me deciding to focus more. Because it's a continuous learning thing we do here. And I just share this one example. We all have 40 hours in a week, right? We work. Now, how many hours do we have in the entire week? Do anyone know? 168, I just tell you. So we get paid, we get charged for the 40, right? We charge 40 hours, we charge the company to pay us for those 40. Now, what you do with that other 128 hours dictates how much you get or you can charge for that 40. You see, a lot of people feel what they do at work is how they get to the next level. A lot of times it's what you do outside of work. So you have to use that effort because everybody working 8 hours. Now, what you're doing when you get off is where the sweet spot at. Anybody that's successful in this industry, ask them what they do after they get off 40 hours. If you're doing it in the 40 hours, I guarantee you that one that's doing it outside that 40 is the one that's going to be successful. And that's where make the hard choices at. I mean, it's hard to work on something when you're not getting paid for it, probably. You got kids, you got responsibilities, but you have to. And the ones that's doing it, trust me, they're doing it. And they're working outside their 40. Small choices add up, defining your path. You know how they say, like, I'm taking 2 steps forward. It just don't seem like I'm going fast enough. My mindset is as long as you're moving forward, you ain't going backwards. If you take 1 step a month, in 12 months, you took 12 steps. So you're a lot further ahead than you were 12 months ago. So it's not really how big of the choices you make, the small ones, small positive. Every day you can make a small choice. There's a rule that's been created in every biomed shop is when you clock in, you go to breakfast. I don't know who created that rule, but that's a lot of time being wasted. I don't know. You clock in, the first thing they do is clock in and go get something to eat. And I used to tease my guys, I said, why don't you just come in a little early and then clock in and get something to eat? Or don't come back to the shop with it. Go eat in the hallway. Well, I don't have to see you eating. That I'm condoning it, but it's like any job you go on, that's the first thing people do. And if you think about the 15 minutes you waste, or 30 minutes, you add that 30 minutes up in a week, that's what? 2.5 hours. Month, 10 hours. Year, 120 hours. That's just wasted because you didn't eat no breakfast before you got to work. And I can admit I was that guy, long time ago. But but that can be your situation. Excellence through choices, guys. Mental toughness. I mean, this one here is, I think we all have to struggle with this one here because limits are mental barriers. You see, I'll tell you what I've learned from the hardest experience of my career. And it's not that our limits are truly just a mental barrier. We have to break through that barrier. I mean, and that's done through a accumulation of choices. Back to that. I'm better than this moment and I'm stronger than this challenge. I can tell you I was on a job and I'm kind of, I guess I could say, what's the word? I'm very passionate about what I do. And I thought I was doing this job great. I mean, I'm up till 2 in the morning, two phones, but never can seem to get to the where everybody was satisfied with what I was doing. So it just got to a point I told myself, maybe this job ain't right for you. And it wasn't. But I had to understand that that's where mental toughness comes in for you to tell yourself, maybe I'm not fit for this job. And I wasn't. But I'm going to tell you, after I left that job, I became a better technician, better manager, better HTM professional, better husband, better brother. Everything got better because the job put me in a place I never been in before. And I always say this saying, whatever you go through, you grow through. So when you go through something, there's a bigger thing at the end. Trust me. There's a bright light waiting on you. It might not seem that way in the beginning, especially the ones in college right now. They got a bright light. Y'all got a bright future. Trust me. Because where y'all sitting at, everybody not sitting there. So continue to move forward, and in the end, you will see. Break barriers through consistent choices. I'm high on choices, guys. And the thing about mental toughness, you have to be willing to continue when every part of you is screaming for comfort. You know, that position of comfort is extremely easy to hang in. If any of you, I used to be a track star. Yeah, I was a little dude about 175 at one time. You know, we grew up together, me and this. But if you run track, it ain't for the weak. And I ran the 400 meters. After them, you rolling for the first 200. But when you hit that 300-meter mark and that wall, I don't care who cheering for you. You don't hear nothing. You just struggling, and it's a toughness, but you finish. That's the same way in breaking through those barriers. You have to have consistent choices, not choices, consistent choices. I mean, be consistent with it. Don't make a good choice today, but then tomorrow you make three bad ones. Make consistent choices, and that mental toughness would be something you can accomplish. Endure and push beyond the comfort. The road to excellence is oppressed with obstacles, but yes, we all can get victories from it. And some people like tattoos, and some people put a tattoo of a great accomplishment in their life. Some people say, why you had to put that on? It's a personal choice, number one, but sometimes they want to see their accomplishment. Because if you see what you accomplished, then you know what you did and you know where you can go. Because you have to always continue to want to see yourself in a position better. And that position doesn't mean you have to be rich. It doesn't mean you have to be a director or doctor or doctorate in this industry. It just means you better personally. Because mental toughness only works with you. It don't work with everybody. It's your mental you're dealing with. The illusion of comfort. Comfort leads to what? Complacency, right? We all agree. You know, I got this job, man. Look, I was biomed of the year, making decent money. I'm good. Man, they let go of the boy. He got let go 3 weeks ago. Who? Biomed of the year. He got comfortable. And when you get comfortable and get complacent, you start making mistakes. That's a fact. I promise you. So don't let comfort get to the point where you think you have everything because we never will know and have everything. And it also prevents growth and it keeps your life uneventful. Because if you're in the industry and you're in the comfort zone, and it may be a position for you, say you'll be made too, you want to be a manager one day, but you don't want to step out that comfort zone. You want to stay right where you at and hope that one day somebody just put you there. You have to put in your mind, okay, I'm gonna step outside my comfort zone and ask, could I shadow someone? I'm gonna step outside my comfort zone and do something that I normally don't do. Come speak at a MD Expo conference because you don't know the exposure you get from speaking at these conferences. It also helps you go back home and speak at the hospital. And Anything you're doing, public speaking is something that is challenging, but at the same time, it's not. It's just something, if you continue to do it, it's going to be a benefit to not only you, but the ones you're speaking to. The call of purpose. Purpose drives ambition and fulfillment. See, because purpose, it's a powerful force. People might not think of it that way, but it's a powerful force. It's the engine that drives your ambition. It's the fire of your soul. It's the blueprint of your destiny, really. Because we all have a destiny, but if you don't have a purpose and you don't have ambition, that destiny may not get accomplished. Align with values and potential. See, when you choose a purpose, when you align yourself with the deepest values and potential, you set out a course to not only have promising success, but also the fulfillment of doing what matters the most to you. Face fears and grow through discomfort. See, choosing purpose over comfort, that's not an easy task, honestly. It requires courage. And I don't know if any of you have courage in here. Yes. But a lot of times we don't tap into it. God blessed us all with courage. But a lot of us don't utilize it like we should. And if you use that courage, it will make everything, the fear, it'll still be there, but your courage will help you overcome it. So I always encourage that, tap into your potential, because you know what your potential is more than anyone else do. Commitment to consistency, commitment and consistency, sorry. See, commitment is the foundation of success. Think about any great leader, any entrepreneur, any HTM professional that you admire. What you will find in them is what? You ask their story is going to be filled with commitment, because you need that. If you don't have commitment to anything, you won't be a great leader and you won't be able to overcome anything. Make a firm decision not to back down. See, commitment is about making a decision and sticking to that decision. I think about commitment like you sort of signing a contract to yourself. And this contract isn't written in ink, but it's written by determination and resolve rather. I'll give you an example. I got married May 29th, 1994. So I celebrated 31 years married. And imagine I want to get divorced now. Is it going to be that easy? We got married in 30 minutes. But to get that divorce, it ain't going to happen in 30 minutes, right? So you have to keep in mind that that's a contract you sign. It's a commitment. And when you commit to marriage, that's a contract. I mean, I ain't gonna say that, but I'm about to say you put them shackles on you, but it's it's a commitment, and we both have to fight to make that contract work. So next one we talked about here is excuse me, I'm just having a laugh in the back of my head. Make a firm decision not to back down. That's a tough one there, because we can sometimes be our biggest barrier. We can want to do something. I'll wait till next year. I'll wait till next episode. I'm gonna speak at Indie Expo in 2028. Sometimes we become our biggest barrier. Consistency is the daily journey. Literally, guys. I mean, I'm kind of a creature of habit. When I go to work, I walk in the shop, speak to my guys, ask them how they doing, check my emails, make rounds. Yeah, I'm the manager and I make rounds too. And they say, man, shouldn't your team? I said, no, I like to make rounds because I always tell my team, if they don't do their job, I get in trouble. If I don't do my job, I get in trouble. So the leader is always going to be on the line because the accountability and responsibility is higher. So I make rounds and talk to everyone. And some of them are telling me, well, your guys just left here. I said, good, we're giving you 2 for 1 today. And they love it. They love attention. And so that's just a creature of habit I do. And I try my best whenever I come to shows. I try to speak to every single person I meet to be consistent with it. And that to me helps, especially someone it's their first show. Because I remember my first show and I had a friend, he took me under his arm, walked me around and told me what I was going to expect. And that helped. I might have told a few people that when I met here at this show, every show I try to do it, because that's how you put yourself in the position to be a giver and you practicing consistency. And I try to practice it in every way I can because the more you practice it, the more you do it. And you're not thinking about it no more. You're just doing it. The power of commitment and consistency. I can give you an example, like, for instance, if we read a 20-page book a day, to some that's nothing. Some people can read a whole book probably in a day. But if you read a 20-page book a day, that would equal to 7,300 pages over a year. That's not just a couple of books. That's almost a whole library of knowledge, a whole year of growth packed into you. I'm not saying you got to read a book, but you can try to read something that can feed your mind positively. You can listen to a podcast, listen to motivational speakers. I do that on YouTube a lot because I got an hour commute. So that's my time to feed my brain with something that's motivating because that's what we need, honestly. And sometimes it's the mental more than the physical. Understanding your why. We kind of touched on that earlier because our why, as mentioned, it fuels our commitment to consistency. And that's something that we all need. And there's a video I want to share with you guys. Y'all been hearing about the WIL, Women in Leadership, right? It's an awesome situation that the ladies up here doing. I'm a huge, huge fan. As you can see, I got the WIL on me. I would love to go to the meetings, but they're just not letting us, you know. But I think what they're doing is amazing. And if you look around this industry right now, females are in a lot of leadership roles. They run in HTM companies, vice presidents, director. They're on every level leading. So this industry, the females are taking the full lead in it. And I want to share this video with you I created because I'm just a dude that like to give and share. And I wrote this to the females of this industry just to give them a hello, a thank you, and appreciate you. Let me hit play. If you're not wearing black, you can see that ladies of the healthcare technology management industry are just part of your confident world. I want to share an inspiring message, especially for all the incredible female HCM professionals out there. You are the driving force, the heartbeat, and the future of this industry. And I couldn't be more proud of your achievements and dedication. In recent times, I've witnessed something truly remarkable within the HCM community. The ladies of HCM are not merely working in this industry. They are rising stars who are reshaping its landscape. They are leading the way, whether it's at the helm of some of the most prominent HCM companies, excelling in operations, sales, or providing exceptional customer service. As we step into December 2023, I can't help but notice the enthusiasm of several students who have completed their education journey into the HCM field. What's even more impressive is that the ones I have had the privilege of interacting with on my platform have all been females. This trend is not limited to the United States alone. I've seen it happening internationally as well. Female HCM professionals are taking the lead in various capacities, whether it's working on medically working aboard emergency ships, organizing and participating in conferences, or simply making their presence known. What truly sets these amazing women apart is their unwavering confidence. They said how shining their light without worrying about judgment or I recall a conversation with a female leader in the HCM industry who was a fellow sports enthusiast. She always told me to keep pounding. Today I pass on her message to all the ladies in HCM. Keep pounding. But what does keep pounding mean in context of your journey in the HCM industry? It means relentlessly pursuing your goals and dreams.
It means knocking on doors until they swing open. And if they don't, pound them off their hinges and walk right through. It means persistently asserting your presence at meeting tables until your voices are not just heard, but respected. It means showing up every day and demonstrating to everyone that this is the only beginning of what you can achieve. I want you to promise yourselves that you'll stay awake, stay focused, and keep pounding because 2024 holds tremendous promise to the ladies of the nation. They sure well haven't seen the full extent of your potential, and I can't wait to see the incredible advancements, innovations, and leadership you'll bring to the table. Ladies, keep pounding. Keep pushing boundaries. Keep making your mark in the HCM industry. Remember, the sky is not the limit. It's just the beginning of what you can achieve. Embrace your greatness. Be unapologetically you. And let your light shine brighter than ever before.
Hold up.
If you're not wearing blinders,
Technical
you can
difficulties.
see that. Ladies of the healthcare technology
Help.
Look at one more time. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks. Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm still on. Yeah. I want to say this one thing to you, ladies. Fellas, we gotta keep them back, fellas. They're trying to take over the world. But nah, but seriously though, this thing talks about overcome doubt and negativity and time. That's a lot of things young ladies in the industry have to do. Not today, but it's much better. But you have to. And the reason I'm kind of I ain't gonna say biased, but I had a few female technicians, and honestly, they the most disciplined. Keep their work areas clean. Make me keep my work area clean. And it's just that's the beauty. I mean, they're so passionate, and that's why as I come to the shows, I'm noticing this, and this was done in 2023. Now it's even more visible. So I'm just saying, man, I appreciate you. I'm proud of you, and just keep doing it because it took courage because y'all had to come into an area that's mostly men. Now I'm looking at a room and there's more women in here than men. So now we need the courage. You know, it's like, we got to step up and start standing out. But that's just come from you dedicate time to positive thoughts and actions. It might be scary to come into an industry that's predominantly men, 90% men, but y'all doing it and y'all killing it, man. And it's not just here; it's all over the world. And I just wanted to give my due appreciation to what you guys are doing. And I always say, with the time to positive thoughts and actions, I always stress to people the most important tool in your bag is not your meter, it's not your screwdrivers, it's not the ratchet set, it's not your laptop, it's your time. Because I can get me a new laptop, I can get me some new too. But we can't get time back, which is why it humbles me that y'all came in here to listen to me because this time y'all giving me, y'all can't get back. You can't walk out this door and hit a button and say, okay, I got back to 4 o'clock. Unless you jump on the plane, I guess, and go back. What time go back? But for the gist of it is, your time is something that we all value, and we need to really appreciate our time because it's something that we cherish, and it's something that's precious, and to me, it's priceless. So you have to embrace embracing time because time is, as we mentioned, something that can be tracked but can't. Like most companies have a time period on which they track your productivity. Paramedics is 4 hours a day as far as time tracking. In some companies, 6 hours. But I'm just gonna give you guys a heads up. You can't work 8 hours and have documented time for 8 hours. It's pretty hard to do, I would think, because there's no way you can document every minute of your day. And a lot of times people will do that. I mean, that's when you're making your time, you're really doing too much. But always embrace your time and manage it is the number one way it can become effective to you. Be the star of your HTM career. Now, this is something that a lot of people might say, are you being selfish? Take the lead role in your HTM career. Now, you could be on the team supporting your manager, but you still could be the star of your career. Some might call it, well, I like being in a supportive role. That's fine. We can all support one another, but make sure that your career is not based only on making sure everybody is accomplishing their goals. Make sure that the person you're supporting is not writing your career. He's not writing your movie. You want to be the one that writes your movie. You control your destiny, as I mentioned earlier. So be the star in your HTM career. And one way you can do that is by embracing opportunities and creating moments. Here is a quote. If you don't become the star of your own movie of your life, you'll be an extra in somebody else. And who want to be an extra in somebody else's life? We probably do it for our kids, though. I mean, I would. I'll be an extra for my kids. I don't have any grandkids yet, but that's the only person I probably would be. But as far as you want to be the star. You don't want to be the extra, because the extras don't have speaking roles. Extras might not even make the credits. So you want to be the star of your career. You don't want to sit back and say, man, I spent 15 years in the industry and my boss became the CEO of the company. But y'all used to intern him. Now he the CEO, but you still in the same spot. Now, if that's where you comfortable at, if that's where you feel that's your best niche, so be it. But just make sure you comfortable and you understand that you being the best you can be. And this quote means a lot to me because if you don't want to become that star, somebody might say that's a selfish line, but I think it's real. Action speaks louder than words. We hear that probably our whole life, and that might be with relationships and everything. Your action defines who you are. I don't have to even know you much. I could talk to someone and tell me how your day go. Tell me what you think about life. And if they go to talking, you kind of can say, okay, the story could be too good or it could be terrible. Some people like to, what's the word I'm looking for? Sensationalize things. Man, I'm killing at the hospital. I put up sheetrock in the morning. I drop I drop the IT lines at night, and I do security. You know, really, but that's just thinking. But that's something that we all need to make sure our actions fall in line with what you're doing. And so I'm challenging you right now. What actions are you taking in your HTM career? Seriously, what moves are you making right now for your future self? And what will you think about as far as your future self or how you want to be, how you want to become? Challenge yourself. Choose discipline over distractions. Don't just talk about it, be about it. I mean, we could say what we want to be. It sounds good talking at the show, but then once we leave the show, it sounds good. But if we start talking about it, it's going to become, honestly, I think it becomes a distraction, even though you don't see the distraction. But if you're not disciplined enough to stay on the course that you're trying to be, it's a distraction. Personal journey in HTM. Consult with your younger self. Now, I know a lot of us probably talked to our younger self these last few days. Man, I haven't been like this way since I was 19. I ain't talking about that young self. I mean, really have a conversation with your younger self and then stay true to your initial promises. Like, how many of you graduated and you probably said, man, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to go to engineering school. You in school. Now, when you become 21, are you still having that same conversation with yourself? When you become 28, are you checking and say, okay, me and 18, we discussed this how we want to be? Have that conversation. Do any of you talk to your younger self still? How many hands? Let's see. The rest of you should. I talk to myself a lot. People might say I'm just crazy, but I'm gonna share a video with you. I'm a video guy, y'all. Y'all know it. I believe in storytelling. I want to share this video. I call it Dear 1993 Me. It's a conversation I have with myself.
Year 1993. Can't help but reflect on the journey you've taken over In 1993, fresh out of community college, I was filled with the hope and ambition that the world was my oyster. Little did I know what the biomedical equipment technology industry had in store for me. 1993 me, we were so afraid to be ourselves and play the role that others expected of us. Why did we allow fear to pull us back from embracing our true potential? Looking back, I realized that worrying about things we couldn't control was a sign that we weren't truly in control at all. Life is filled with uncertainties, and while we can't control every outcome, we can control how we react to them. 1993 me, our mistakes are not just our future, but rather they are opportunities for growth. It's not about the mistakes themselves, it's about how we handle 1993 me. As we embarked on the world of biomedical, you and I were faced with many challenges. We didn't know how to repair our equipment, and we were unsure of the best path to take in this industry. But 1993 me, we had to take it. We had to step out of our comfort zone and explore what this field had to offer. You see, 1993 me, it's easy to play it safe, to stay within our comfort zone. But that's not where the greatness is found. Nobody will hand us success on the silver platter. We must work diligently every day, striving for excellence. It's through this commitment to excellence we discover our true value and worth. I want you to know, 1993 me, that you were not inadequate. You had the potential all along. We are fortunate to be in an industry that offers opportunities for personal and professional growth, not just for ourselves, but for our family as well. Look at where we are now. A family with wife, two kids, and even a namesake in the exact same industry as you. Our hard work and dedication paid off in more ways than we could have imagined. 30 years later, in the year 2023, I can proudly say that we are still on the path we set out to follow when we first embarked on this journey. We didn't waste our opportunity, and we continue to push ourselves, learn, and grow. So, dear 1993 me, as you navigate the uncertainties of your time, I want you to remember this. Embrace who you are, take chances, and don't let fear hold you back. Your future is bright, and you have the power to shape it into something extraordinary. Sincerely, your 2023 self.
See, this a quote here from Kobe Bryant. I just get a little funny with that video. It said, "It's not the destination, it's the journey." And if you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. Your dreams won't come true. Something greater will. That quote there is amazing. I mean, if any of you knew Kobe Bryant and followed him, he was tenacious. He wanted to outwork everybody. He prepared people going to practice. Kobe already practiced for 2 hours before they woke up. That's our mindset. We got to think outside the box. I had my guys was calling me one morning. Why are you sending out emails 4 o'clock in the morning? I said, don't answer them. He said, well, our phones get alert through work orders through our emails. And they said, what you doing up? That's me. I'm like, if I could be working while the rest of the world sleep, I got 2 hours on you. And I'm competing with me because I don't know what y'all work schedules are, but that's just my mindset. Before I get to work, I've already put in work. And I'm not saying y'all have to do that. I'm just saying that some things you want to accomplish, you have to be the person to know the level of how you want to push yourself. And I like to do things. I'm driven. I'm driven off of constantly doing things. And I get a lot from Kobe. I'm a sports fanatic. And Kobe Bryant, man, that hurt me to my heart when he passed. But that guy was killing it in his next line. He got him up. was that an Oscar he won from writing? I mean, just imagine you're a ball player, now you went into another arena and got an Oscar. Some actors never get Oscars. He got one as soon as he went into the arena. So I was excited to see what his baby girl was going to do. He was working with her. So that quote there is something, guys, I think we should all live by. Making a difference. Now, personally, the ways I feel like I try to make a difference in this industry, as you probably saw, I do a podcast, and I try to help. And the reason I do the podcast is just to share with people some stuff I have inside of me, because you can't talk to everyone, but you can share a podcast with them. And if I can just get one person to say thank you, man, I appreciate it, I'm happy, honestly. And this is the episodes of the podcast. I try to always get an HTM professional to be on there. I've done over, I think it's 60 episodes now, and I just get groups. And anybody I talk to today, you're gonna have a thumbnail, you're gonna be on my wall, and that's just me just giving the HTM industry something to enjoy and appreciate. I also do motivational videos every Monday, and the video is like a 2 to 3 minute video. And I'm gonna let you know it takes me 2 hours to make it, but it's worth it because people call me and say, "Man, I appreciate it." And what I try to do is I look on my LinkedIn site and I try to get a professional every day, every week to highlight. And all these people on the screen are HCM professionals. And they'll call me the next morning, "Man, I appreciate that motivation." That's all I ask for. And that's just me giving back to an industry that's been good to me. And just to give you some numbers from my podcast, this was like in 2022, it was 55 episodes produced, and I had used 66 guests. And that podcast reached 6 continents, 71 countries, and over 819 cities worldwide. So you don't know who you might touch anywhere in this planet by just sharing your story. Because when you keep your story all bottled in, that's not fair. You know, your story is not for you, it's for everybody else. So that's one of the reasons why I do that. And these videos help. And I also do a newsletter. And I figured I got the podcast, the news, the video, the music, and then a newsletter for the readers. And the same thing, I try to highlight people in the HTM industry because I think we don't get enough shine, enough flowers. So I try my hardest to share that with the world, share that with all of y'all because we all one community, right? So that's some of the goals, and I'm hoping I might touch that next person who take it to another level, and that's what it's all about. So I also do outreach work at high schools, and I did my own. This is some kids here I spoke to at a high school, and I only took pictures of the kids that showed interest. And if you notice, females, all of the boys in there sleepy. I'm like, man, bro, why the girls all here? The guys are sleepy, like they worked last night, but the girls are just energetic. And I don't know if it's because the camera came up and they were excited about taking pictures, but that's all the girls. They are curious about this industry, and all of them were amazed, and not one of them ever heard of this industry. See, girls, it's like a. And this here was at a career fair. Got some guys in there, and just that's something I do, sharing outreach with everyone, just so that we can hopefully find our future HTM professionals. And I did a career fair. I do one every 6 months, where I had a few good friends flew in. One came from California, well, two came from California, Kentucky, and North Carolina, out their own pockets, just to support me on this career fair. And these all the kids. We had a Saturday set up where all the kids came, a few parents came, and what we did was we had workstation. This here was, we call it the mentor lounge. The guy in the picture, his name is Dr. Smoot, and he sat down and talked to the kids about the HTM industry. He teaches. He teaches about med school. So his job was to talk to the kids, and we had like a 20-minute. And we ring the bell. They switch to the next station. Then we had another station that's oh my God, I'm going broke. Allison. She had the EKG station. They was playing with the monitors, showing them different things. Then we had Maria, I don't think she's in here, but she had an MRI. She bought her coils and had the kids lay on the table and put the coil and show them, just explaining to them what it looked like to be inside of an MRI unit. And that's something that they probably would never do unless, unfortunately, they had an injury. but they loved it. And then we had the one, he had the defibrillator out, showing the kids how the defib work, and we had an AED, and all of them, they just came for success, and all the vendors sent me swag. So I had a lot of stuff. We put together little bags like y'all have. We put bags together, and we gave each one a bag, and they did it. And I had my podcast, so they'd never been on a podcast before, so we recorded them talking on the podcast, and it was a great time. And none of them, they came away curious about the industry, and that's all we want is to give opportunity. So in conclusion, all I'm gonna say to you guys is we have to elevate. We have to make it personal. We have to. Anything we do in this industry, we have to make it personal because all those career fairs and stuff that you're doing, I'm trying to do, it's not for me because I don't get no money from it. I don't get no, that's all love. Come and talk to you guys is love. And I hope that y'all could take that same love and share it with someone else. It could be one person. That's all it takes. And it'll spread like wildfire. And so that's my encouragement to you on that is just elevate your performance by making your work ethic personal and watch how you flourish in this HTM industry. But most importantly, watch how you flourish as a productive human being. Thank you.